Hey guys, it's carsonmtech here, back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be taking a look at a budget robot vacuum cleaner that you can pick up for only $150 if you snag the discount that is going on right now. The vacuum in question is called the Yeedi K650. Specifically, what I'll be doing in this video is figuring out whether or not it's worth it to go and buy a more budget end vacuum over, say, something in the $300 to $400 range. Also, I'll be touching on the pitfalls of some of these lower end robot vacuums. So with that being said, let's begin by talking about what you get inside the box. To start, right on top you'll see you get a replacement filter for when the other included one in the vacuum needs replacing. You've also got some directions to help you get this up and going, but I'll do that for you, so no reading is required. You'll also get a rubber main brush, which is good for those who have pets that shed their hair a lot, because you won't have to worry about the hair getting in the brush and tangled up. Below that is the star of the show, the Yeedi K650 vacuum, which as you can see is white and fits the form factor of the typical robot vacuum. Even further down are the two side brushes that allow this to clean up to corners and walls as close as possible. And you've also got the charging dock and the charging dock power cable. So with everything out of the box, initial setup was actually surprisingly easy. All you've got to do is match up the colors of the side brushes by matching up the red with the red and the green with the green. Once you've done that, I personally decided from the start to put on the rubber main brush because we do, in fact, have a pet whose name is Scout, and although he is hypoallergenic, he still tends to shed from time to time. To get the vacuum up and actually moving, you'll want to take your phone and scan the QR code on the top of the robot, which will take you to either the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Once you've downloaded the app and signed up for an account, turn on the vacuum by flipping the switch on the side, and then you're set to connect the Yeedi to the smartphone app as well as the Yeedi to your Wi-Fi in your house. Overall, this entire configuration and setup process took no more than 5 minutes, so that is pretty great for a good, quick setup process. After getting everything configured in the app, you can do many things like schedule cleaning for specific times on specific days of each week, adjust the vacuum power from quiet all the way to max plus, as well as change from auto, spot, and edge cleaning. Auto is where the vacuum will literally just go randomly everywhere. A spot clean allows for the robot to really deep clean one specific area by following a growing radius around a start point. And edge cleaning is exactly what it sounds like, which is that it makes the robot clean along the edges of a room. Also within the app, you can easily see things like a log of everything the vacuum has done, brushes and filter life status, as well as adjust a couple of other settings. Overall, I really feel the addition of this app control was implemented quite well and lends for a great experience with this vacuum. For my time in testing, I've noticed no lag between the vacuum and the app, and I've not had any issues with it so far. But my main complaint is the lack of the ability to control this with a joystick within the app if you want to make the vacuum go to a specific area or clean a specific area. On top of the app control, you can also start and stop the vacuum by enabling an Amazon Assistant skill or by adding the vacuum to Google Home. With the app covered, let's talk real quick about the actual cleaning done by this vacuum, which is, relatively important considering cleaning is precisely the main objective of this robot. So to start, the robot has a maximum vacuuming force of 2,000 PA or atmospheres of pressure, which is something that is pretty average for this price point. Usually if you're looking around at this price, you'll see others at similar suction levels, but you typically don't see the extra features such as the ability to have this connected to a smartphone app and the connection to the Google Assistant and Amazon Assistant, as well as such high run times such as the acclaimed 130-minute cleaning time. During that runtime, I found it to do a very good job at the standard suction mode cleaning. After 4 days of cleaning 2 times a day, this is how much dust and dirt was picked up by the vacuum. I feel like if the vacuum was put at higher suction level of the Max Plus, well, first of all, the battery life would not last for 130 minutes, obviously. Also, it would collect a lot more dust and dirt. I'm not disappointed though with what it did pick up. Plus, the dustpan in this is quite large at 800 milliliters, which is definitely large for a vacuum of this size. If you don't want the vacuum to clean a specific certain area, you can go and put down magnetic strips that will allow for the vacuum to go and stop itself before going into a said area. And this is something that you will most definitely want to look into, especially if you have a lot of what I'm about to talk about. One of the biggest pitfalls of this cheaper robot vacuum is the fact that it does not have mapping or any form of navigation. What I mean by that and why this matters is because if you have a robot vacuum that does not have mapping, it has no clue where it is pretty much at all times. Now, in saying that it doesn't have mapping, that does not mean that it doesn't have a smart enough brain inside of it to keep itself from bumping into things and falling downstairs. In fact, it's got sensors to prevent itself from doing both of those things, and it's done a great job at that so far. However, it will just randomly clean all the time and is not smart enough to go and efficiently clean a room by going back and forth in a structured parallel lines type of way. This means that if you just go and let the robot go, it'll likely miss some decent spots most of the time, and let me tell you, this can get very annoying, especially when you see it pass by literally the same spots and miss some of the same crumbs every single time it passes it by inches and misses it. For me, I found that the Yeedi typically would find itself stuck in my bedroom where it would get stuck in my thick carpet. If you have thick carpet in your house, this is not the vacuum for you. This thing gets caught up in thick carpet all the time, even at lower suction levels, which would result in me having to come and save the robot after getting caught nearly every cleaning cycle. Literally 7 out of the 8 cleaning cycles, it got stuck in here. A positive for when the vacuum does get stuck or something gets wrapped in the brush though is the fact that the app will send you instantly a push notification letting you know that the robot is stuck and that you suck and you need to clean up after yourself. I'm not joking about this. Look at how passive aggressive these notifications are. Maybe it's just me, I don't know, but I found that pretty interesting. Building off of this, if you're somebody who leaves cords out in your house, such as phone chargers or computer cables, then you are set up for a disaster waiting to happen if you just let this go without watching it. This is unfortunate, obviously, because as an autonomous robot vacuum cleaner goes, I feel that you should be able to let it just go and do its thing without any input from you, the user. However, it really struggles at doing just that, and after you see how many times it goes and gets stuck or caught or gets wrapped in a cable, it's really frustrating, and it will make you think that you have to be there at all times in order to make sure you're there if it does get stuck. In saying all this, I have not had the chance to try other robot vacuums, but I'm quite certain they will probably have the same issues with getting stuck in thicker carpets as well as getting wrapped in cables. It's just something to keep in mind if you're looking for a robot vacuum and considering one yourself. Anyways, back to the fact that this does not have mapping. This thing struggles a lot of the time to get back to its charging base. This is frustrating when you want it to go and return to its charging base, but it doesn't know how to find its way back to that base because it has no logical form of a map inside of it knowing where it could even generally go to get back to the base. So if you're wondering, well, how does it get back to the charging base then? Well, what it does is it will go, and no matter what room it's in, it will go and start bopping itself around, hitting walls until it finally gets around within 10 feet of the charging base, and once it's finally locked into that, then it will go and return to the charging base. But if it's in another room, I've had it take up to 10 minutes to return to the charging base before after pressing return to the charging base. So that's really frustrating. But aside from these annoyances, I do have to give the vacuum a compliment on how quiet it is. The quiet mode is extremely quiet for a vacuum, but with me usually leaving it in the standard mode, even in that, it is generally quite quiet. However, if you do want to take advantage of the full 2000 PA of suction power, you will have to turn the robot into max plus mode, which is just getting in the obnoxiously loud category, making it sound like a full-on vacuum cleaner at that point. For most basic weekly cleaning though, I had no issue with leaving this in the standard suction mode. To finish this off, do I think after all this that getting the Yeedi K650 is worth it? I've got to say, for $150, if you do manage to get that discount, this is an absolute steal of a robot vacuum. As the price goes higher up though, I would tend to just say no, don't get this, and look elsewhere, such as the Musu RT30, for example, which shares many of the same features as this Yeedi does, but with additional things such as 2 extra filters, a physical remote for manual control, and an extra set of side brushes, all for $175, as well as a current coupon that you can add upon checkout for $10 off. With the same smart functionality and nearly same battery life, you get the huge feature over this Yeedi K650, which is gyroscopic navigation, meaning it will go and move around in a smart way rather than randomly, and at the same max suction as the Yeedi. So if you are considering purchasing the Yeedi K650, I would say go with it, but only if you're able to take advantage of that $50 off coupon, which makes it $150. Make sure to use the links down below in the description in order to take advantage of that coupon if it's still there. And this overall would make a pretty great Christmas present for your own house or a friend or family if you're able to get it at that price point. But again, if you can't get it at the $50 off, then I would highly recommend going for something like the Musu RT30 instead. But with that being said, that is pretty much it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to let me know by clicking the thumbs up button down below, as well as subscribing for maybe not future videos like this, but other ones focused around technology. Also, if you want to check out my last video, that is right up there, and some random video of mine is down there. With that being said, that is it for this one. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.